In 2010 in November, I wrecked on my dirt bike and I had a bruise there. So the bruise, it went away, but the bump never went away.
Being a dad, I told him to suck it up and quit being a baby. And everything went away except for the bump. The bruise was still there. Didn't really think much of it.
He kept coming home and complaining about more and more pain and whatnot. And if you know Tim, he's a tough kid. He doesn't complain. I mean, he was playing football, he was getting knocked on his can by kids, twice his size, and so this was a serious thing.
I was limping in a game and I wouldn't run or jump at all. So my mom took me in on a Friday to get scans.
I took him in to the Instacare here and demanded an x-ray.
Well, the x-ray looked kind of funny because there's like all these swirl stuff, because you know how bones, they look all solid. Then when they got up to where the bump is, there's all these swirls and black dots.
And I got a call, probably 11 o'clock out in Denver. And she said that they felt like it was bone cancer and that they needed to do a biopsy. And I turned my car around and jumped a plane and came home.
When I was back in the hospital at the MRI, when they said I might have bone cancer, when I do have bone cancer, but they didn't know what type, I told my mom that it was only bone cancer. At least it wasn't one of the bad ones. It was just bone cancer.
They had prepared us a little bit that it was going to be a long road, but we were ready to fight, and fight we did.
It sucks. It's one. And you puke all the time. You puke at least once a day.
You know, as a dad and as a parent, you're supposed to try to protect your kids. But this isn't something you can do for them. And we knew the treatments were going to be tough. I don't think any of us can comprehend how tough they were because we haven't been through them. And then there was the surgery, I'm sure, I'm sitting here as an adult going, what would it be like to not have my lower leg? It doesn't make sense unless you see it. If you try to think about it and explain it to people and they take your foot and they turn it around, until you actually see the procedure or see it on video, it doesn't make any sense. He comes out of surgery and for about two or three minutes he's like really groggy, and then he basically looks at me and says, okay, I'm over my leg being gone. I'm ready to move on.
Try to go one day at a time. Take it one day at a time. If you have to, just take it 1 hour at a time.
He's an amazing kid, and through the whole time, even through he's throwing up, and he still could smile and laugh and bring out the positive in everything that he was going through.
Like only fuzzy head, because it had really short fuzz. Because chemo, it stunts your growth and your hair. So my hair wouldn't grow back in, so it just gave like this little tiny bit of fuzz on my head. So it was fuzzy.
Well, up at the hospital, they gave us a huge notebook of cancer stuff, and there was a pamphlet in there for Make-A-Wish.
It was really cool the way they got involved. We just basically filled out what to me looked like a pamphlet, and then all of a sudden we got calls, and then the wish granters showed up and they started asking us questions, and then they would basically sequester Tim because they wanted it to be his wish.
And they had him come into our home and had me discuss some of the stuff I like to do. And then we narrowed it down to 3 things I wanted to do. Then I picked which one was my first and then which one was my second.
They're there to help a child through things, to give them something to look forward to at the end of their journey, however long that may be. I was all for it. I knew it was going to be a rough road, and I was curious to see what Tim wanted to do as well.
Flying the jet. I've always kind of liked the idea of flying.
To me, Make-A-Wish it kind of creates a balance. The kids that have to go through these diseases, cancer and other life-threatening illnesses, kind of have to go through the worst of what life has to offer, and then Make-A-Wish gives them an opportunity to go through some more of the best that life has to offer. And to me, it makes a nice balance. And it gives them, for Tim, I think it was one of those things where he won't admit it, but I think he was really looking forward to it. He says he thinks it helps, but I think it was more than that. And I have to admit, the wish was really cool, flying in a jet. I was even a little jealous because I loved flying a jet.
Coming up, 3900 for...
Over 39, I can help you from Cal approach, radar contact. What's your...
Experimental 52 Tango Hotel.
How's that?
That was fun!
How about if I teach you how to do that?
Okay.
I like what Make-A-Wish does. I really do. I think it's a good idea. It gives them something to look forward to when they're done with chemo.
I think in some ways it did help him pull through and give him something to look forward to and be excited about.
Something to kind of reward them for all the hard times they've had.
I think having the wish come true, I think it was almost a way to put an exclamation point on kind of the change in the phase of his life, if that makes sense. So, you know, he went through this huge experience that was not fun, and then he had this awesome experience, and that kind of put a cap on it and let him say, okay, this part of my life's done, and now I can move on and be a normal kid again.